Hi Nancy. I'm gonna just try this again real quick. I'm gonna get highlights from the video. That last one, believe it or not, the software was going through an upgrade, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" So I'm just gonna bring in highlights from the contest I had for the Voscap and the lamp, the spider, and I'll just do highlights from it. I have the video open. I'm gonna scroll through it. I was showing, uh, the hardware, and then let me scroll through this. You can probably see me scrolling through it as well. And then we did the drawing, and we had a winner for the lamp hardware. And then I went and I also added the book for our second winner. And my apologies, I don't know why the software updated while I was going live, but that's what happened. So just to breeze through it, we had two winners, and let me just check off. Yeah, you got kicked off live. I got kicked off too. It cut me short. I was saying, Merry Christmas and have a nice time with your family. And I was like, what happened to all that? And then I realized I was kicked off. So it really awkward. But anyway, we had two winners, and now I can't find them. So let me go back to the live chat review here. Let's see. I think I could show it here. Let's see. See on YouTube. You won the lamp hardware kit. Okay, let's see. How can I see this? I'm on that, and this is where you could show the chat. Let me just see. Let me show the chat. Okay, let's see. I know it's somewhere where you can see the chat again. But in any event, I did send the emails out, and I guess it's really not important, but we had the winners. Let's see. Let me scroll through. I'm gonna find it. I think that's it. No. Oh yeah, Deb. Yeah, she won the. I think she won the book. I could check my email. Let's see, 'cause I sent the emails out. I don't know if you can see that. Sent. All sent. Yeah, I don't even have it here. Oh, I sent it in the messages. That's it. Alright. In any event, we had the two winners, and this contest was kind of fun, but awkward. And, I apologize. I wanted to say, yeah, I see the chat. Oh, I don't know if I could zoom into that. Let me see if I could zoom in. You're right. I could zoom in. Go to full screen. Alright, there you go. I got Nancy. Oh wait, congratulations. Please set your number. Let me just zoom to the end here. I think it'll show up there. And now I feel awkward doing this. This is like, alright. Ramona. Here, Ramona won the lamp hardware. Alright, and that's all I got. And we had another winner for the book. Oh, is it LK? Is it LK? Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it. Oh wait, your book. Yeah, I signed it. I already got it packed away, ready to go. So, again, this was very awkward, but I wanted to go live just to clarify what was going on, and you know what happened. I mean, I realized the software was updating, and it just slowed everything down to a crawl, and skipped over a lot of stuff. And let's see, what I can do is go to my messages on YouTube. Let's see. I go back. Let's see. Oh, when I went to, let's see, videos, the shorts, yeah, right here, and here in the lamp base here, and comments. Let's see. Alright, and right here. I'll scroll through right here. Okay. Can you see this? Let me make sure. Oh yeah, you can see this. Okay. Deb Zilka. She won the book. Oh, that's it. She won the book. Deb, and then Ramona Skaggs. She won the lamp hardware. There we go. So that's the two winners. Congratulations, Ramona Skaggs 7093, and as well Deb Z 3918. You won the book. It's a signed copy of my Christmas stained glass pattern. It's a Down East Christmas. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you'll like it. You got this. You know, I didn't see it. I was like, I closed the window. Said, what happened? And it shows the software is updating. So I'm going to learn. I'm going to say automatic software, turn that off, and be done with that. So yeah, I had the picker up here and all that. So anyway, again, Merry Christmas, anyone who's watching. This will be recorded, so I just wanted to apologize about the software issue. Things happen, It's, I've said it before. I'm alone. Something happens behind me, I don't see it. And if I had a production manager and a key grip and all that, people watching over me and a moderator, I don't have all that. So my stuff is pretty much touch and go. You see what I'm seeing, and I didn't see that software update. So I closed the application, the software I use, and it was doing an upgrade, and where it had to connect with my phone, and it really screwed things up. And that's what happened. And I'll keep it. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. I kind of suspected something was going on because it was really lagging, and I was getting double images, and things were happening. And I thought it was just my internet connection, which that wasn't the case. But anyway, again, anybody watching the rerun, the recording of this live, apology live, my apology tour. I just wanted to, you missed the end where I did have the winners, and you know, well, thank you, Nancy, for letting me know. You know what? Maybe I'll make you the live moderator. How's that? So you could say, hey Gary, check it out. Well, you're doing it now, but I mean, I know you got my back, and you know, oh yeah, and you had the party last night. You got to rest up. um, yeah, at the end, I was like, yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody, and you know, enjoy your holidays, and you know, thank you for being part of my giveaways, and you know, I appreciate all the attention and the camaraderie and giving stuff away. I have so much more stuff. I'm thinking I got a bunch of books I want to give away. I want to give away some old tools I have, and just kind of keep the interest going in my channel. And I know there are $5, $10, $20 items. No big deal. It's just the excitement of giving stuff away, and then the excitement of winning stuff, and the stuff I will give away is kind of unique because like the Voskhod is solid brass. They're really hard to find, and if you do find them, they could be quite expensive. And the books naturally, and then the spiders. I have probably about another 6 or 8 left in my workshop, and these I picked them up in '99. When I was doing retail supplies in my store. And since, I closed it in '05 or thereabouts. And so I put all this stuff in boxes. And just lately I've been going through the boxes, and I said, oh yeah, let me give that away. Because it's hard to find a 4-pronged spider. I don't know why, but they're hard to find. I have a ton of old, not a ton, a lot of old Venture Masterfoil. Maybe I'll give some of that away. Actually found a couple rolls of the Venture Scalloped Foil, which was really good stuff. And you got to buy the Chinese stuff now. And yeah, old new stock. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, back in the late '90s, when stained glass was the bomb. It was everybody. I mean, you could buy anything you wanted. All the glass companies were in full swing. Spectrum was around, and you could buy the Rat Packs. They're very reasonable, and Kokomo Pony Packs, and supplies. I mean, I used to buy inland grinders for $50. You buy 12 at a time. And I don't see that being an option anymore. And then all the Glass Star products. And anyway, but I have a lot of other supplies. I'll go through them and just keep giving away, and hopefully I don't have any more hiccups with the software. I mean, I should have caught it, because I saw a window pop up that it wanted to upgrade my phone, how it connects to the software. I was like, I don't do that. I kind of ignored it, but it went on anyway in the background. So I should, but I was live. Get distracted. I was like, I don't want to upgrade my phone. So that's what happened. And yeah, leaded glass is coming back. Yes, it surely is. It's people are really jazzed about doing things out of lead. Excuse me. And I honestly, the amount of people that are involved in just the past 2 or 3 years, with stained glass, I look at the forum, over 200,000 members in the Facebook group, and it's amazing in itself. and I was always in the forum business. Not business, but I ran forums for a very long time. I had the stained glass forum that was like crazy popular back before Facebook was a thing, and we had our websites had their own message boards, and I owned stainedglassville.com, which was I'm not bragging, it was the most popular message board forum on the internet at the time, and a lot of people, a lot of activity, and that kind of fell apart when Facebook came into the scene in the early 2000s, 2005, or I don't know. The years all meld together. I know Facebook was. I remember the IPO, Facebook IPO, and I told my brother Guy. I said, Guy, look at this Facebook. It's $13. That's the one you want to buy. And he's like, oh, it's just a fad. It'll come and go. You're right. I also told them about Apple Computer. Before they had phones, they had the little mini music players. The wasn't even, it was an iPod. I don't even know what it was. It was just like a mini player, and then they came out with a better version of it. I said Apple at the time was $23 a share, and so it was around 2002, and Facebook, and then Amazon was $11. I won't forget those numbers. Amazon was $11. Facebook was IPO, a new stock ticker, and it came on at $13. It actually took a beating and then jumped to 30 and kind of hovered there. But yeah, this Facebook changed everything with stained glass forums and all that. And I said, you know what? I saw the writing on the wall. I said, the Facebook formatting where you can be a member of cooking groups or fishing groups or what have you, and in the background or along the side you get notifications of the stained glass groups. So it's all intertwined. So it's like a mega group of social networking. And I said, right, that's it. I mean, no one's going to spend time on a stained glass forum, which they did. I kept it for a while. And I haven't, a forum now on my website, but it's more of like an information depot, about what I have going on. But I do a lot of that on Facebook, as well as Facebook, the meta side of things, with the business pages and all. So it's just just the matrix of Facebook, and how you can share and actually upload images to Facebook, videos, cross-platform things. Even with YouTube, from YouTube I can share right to Facebook. And it was right about that same time I started YouTubing. It was in around 07. So YouTube was brand new at the time too. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, you can make videos and share them. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I did. I did a couple of videos. So I've been a YouTube influencer for many, many years. And I just decided to go back to it because of my health and my failed vision, and I have a disorientation. I'm dizzy a lot, and stained glass and climbing ladders and scaffolding was not going to be too easy to do. So I said, I got to go into a different line. So that's why I started doing the patterns, on Etsy, and I went back into doing more YouTubing, and it was a real eye-opener coming back to YouTube and seeing all the other people out there. Good, bad, and the ugly. It was like, wow, the stuff that's out there. It just it really it compelled me to do more because I see so much. I mean, I was always aware of people, throughout the years from the 80s, the 70s and 80s. We used to call them we called them hobbyists, but we called them damn hobbyists. Like they were annoying because, they were trying to undermine the skill of the craft. Find shortcuts and teach things that were weird and different. And there were a lot of hobbyist type stained glass shops popping up everywhere. People learn how to cut glass and copper foil using a grinder and this and that. And they open up a glass shop, and that was during the 80s. And I found on YouTube a lot of these hobbyists were now YouTubing. And some of the stuff they talk about is just drove me nuts. And that's kind of why I got back into it. I said, I'm not gonna allow that. And there's a lot of other really good YouTube influences. I mean, there's some. I see there's one woman, I forget her name, but she's so articulate. She does stuff with long nails on, and there's other people that are thorough in what they do, and there are professionals out there that actually do YouTube. They're called influencers, and I respect them. But the ones I don't respect are the ones that make up things and kind of hyphenate, bad techniques, and they pretty much making it like a clown show. It's like the shoe salesman mentality, and they're jamming down all these bad techniques, and all for the sake of making money on YouTube. And you could see it's money driven. And some of them have some skills, but you can't call them out on it because they're all nasty with you, which has happened to me. And see, I'm doing my thing. I'm going off on a subject, the tangent, the rambling. I came back to go live just to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I even wish those people a Merry Christmas. But they really cheapened the whole world of stained glass. It's like, they cheapen it to make an infomercial about it. And I'm just saying it's kind of sad, and that was kind of a lot of the reasons why I'm driven to show what I know. I mean, I know a lot of stuff, and I know the frauds. I know the hobbyists. The people who try to reinvent the wheel. I mean, stained glass is it's a long-lived tradition. Correct. It's actually it's a job skill. It's a life skill. It's not something you just pick up with a kit and try to make a business out of. You can, but it's like there's so much more to it. And and what irked me a lot was just seeing the blatant commercialism of it. Turn it into like a sideshow. It's not equated to sideshow. Buy the snake oil and I'll be your shoe salesman today. And you need a vacuum? That's what it appears to me to be like. And it's all done for the likes and the people coming in and joining memberships, and and it's all about how many members you have, how many subscribers you get. Because the bottom line is YouTube rewards you for a subscriber count, and they'll show your videos more often than others if you have more subscribers. And naturally, more subscribers means that people are interested in what you got. But if you're selling snake oil, or you're selling shoes, you're putting That's what it appears to me to be. And unfortunately, a lot of people that don't know better, jump right in and join in the mob mentality of following really. I hate to say it, they're just insubordinate. These hobbyists, and it really it grinds my gears. Hear that noise, that grinding? That's my gears grinding. So anyway, enough of that. And what you do is, if you're getting involved with a craft like that, and somebody comes along who has many years of experience and actually can prove it in many ways, and what they do and say, you should give them a little bit more respect. So that maybe I'm doing my year-end speech right now. It's just like for those people who don't respect, basically it's seniority over their skill level. If you don't respect that, you really should look at yourself. It means a lot if you give people, and I know a lot of professionals on YouTube. I'll never second guess their techniques. I mean, some are different than mine, but not too far off. And most of the real professionals are out there making glass. They're climbing the scaffolds and making beautiful stained glass. They don't have time for YouTube. But right now, in my time in my life, this is where I kind of fit in, because I have this dizzy issue, like I said, and, up till about maybe 2 years ago, I couldn't walk upstairs. I could walk downstairs and walk upstairs because it makes me too dizzy. And then I got the doctor visits, and they put me on old medication. Now I'm all shaky, and I'm really upset because I lost mobility, and I had my eye operated on. I figured that might be it, because I was blind in one eye for a while, so I couldn't even see stained glass. And 10 years ago, when I was doing stained glass, I started losing my vision, where I tried the cheaters, but even then I couldn't see what I was doing enough to be really accurate. I mean, I got by, and then a year ago I had my eye, I had the cataract surgery, corrective vision, whatever, and it's since improved it greatly. But I still have this dizzy issue where it's hard for me to, to do things, and the shaking. I got the shakiness. Maybe that's from just being upset or nervous about the whole deal. But I noticed that since I can see, again, I could do stained glass, and my shop is kind of on hold, but I have active work on it. I said, you know what? Let me go back to YouTubing and show how to cut glass. Show how to, the things I know. And never, there's a code of ethics with YouTube. You never, toss another YouTuber under the bus. And I've been ridiculed for my shaking. I've been ridiculed for my techniques in openly. I've been spoke about in such negative ways. It was so sickening. I said, I'm not gonna play their game. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show my skills, and just by looking at what I can do, it'll speak for itself. So I would pick up things they talk about. They're really awkward and like wrong. Basically, if it's not 50% right, it's 50% wrong or more. So I would pick up on it and correct the record, and do it in a public way, and never mentioning any names. I refuse to do that. If they push me to a point, they make cryptic messages about me and speak of me, of my shakiness, and they They say, how can you cut glass without, pulling the glass cutter? And how can you see the pattern? Yeah, you know who they're talking about. Because I'm the biggest threat, because I actually know what I'm talking about. That's not bragging. It's just, I know what I'm talking about. I've been around this for a very long time, and come from a long line of accomplished stained glass artists. I'm not a part-timer. I'm not a hobbyist. And I think that kind of scares them. But they could, rest assured, I'll never mention names. And I'll always, I'll do my best to let them get away with what they do and say, but I will call them out when they're wrong, when they're 50% right. Because and I typically I wouldn't even do that, but they go after me so many times. I have to watch their feeds to say, all right, what are they going to do? Say about me now? And anyway, I wanted to say, when when the year comes to close, no matter what year it is, it could be 1990. There's the old anxiety, the New Year's thing, like put things behind you, look forward in a positive direction. I'm that kind of person. I really do. I try to bury hatchets and say, look, you know what? You're better off with sugar than with vinegar. And I don't think that they even want to do that. Because just recently, and I'm airing my dirty laundry. Just the reason why I've been sick for the past almost 2 weeks now is because on the 11th of December, exact date, I got a notification, about I'm stealing people's copyright. I'm like, what? How can that be? So just me talking about, say, a technique that may ring similar to what they talk about, that I'm stealing copyright. And I got this cease and desist letter. I said, you know what? And they actually pulled the video down from YouTube over it, because they claim I was taking their content, which it's not true. I said, if you drive like you drive a car with one hand on the wheel and one out the door, yeah, you say that, I got one hand on the wheel and one out the window. You mean no one can repeat that? Of course they can. And especially for an end purpose of a definition or clarity or education, it all falls under fair use. And the one little catchphrase that I said, about breaking glass, and you snap it down. You never play with glass and you start pulling it away, throwing it this way. It's not safe. And I'll stand on that till I'm blue in the face, because it is not safe. And I did a thing. I said, break it down and throw it away. Well, that's what got me in trouble. I can't use that phrase, because it's copyrighted. That's BS. It's not copyrighted. It's like you can't say, well, you put the broom down on the floor and push it away. Huh? You can't say that. Oh no, you're going after. No, I'm not going after anybody in that way. I'm saying it's dangerous. So any hobbyist that thinks that they gotta pull glass away, and I've said it about other people that try to pull glass apart. I say, don't do that. You're gonna get in trouble. It's gonna bite you. And I'm firm on that, because I've seen people get hurt. I've seen people when they try. You can't pull glass away. You break it, snap it down like you're breaking a cookie. That's it. Put the glass down gently. Avoid standing it up in one of those waffle grits. That's my big thing, because I've seen my dad get gut like a fish from a sheet of glass. And that's not something you really want to see. And I've seen people cut themselves severely in classes. With stained glass class. I seen my mom get hurt. I seen what patina can do if it splashes in your eye, or what a glass chip can do if it goes in your eye. You know, how it can scar your eye and all that. I've been there. So any kind of little weird thing about how you break glass, it just immediately sends off all the red flags and the alarm bells. So if I didn't say anything, I was like, you know, if I don't say anything, it would kind of make me accountable. I feel like I need to say something. So yeah, so that's why I've been sick for the past 2 weeks. For copyright, and then I get a cease and desist and warnings of lawyers and legalities. Well, I wouldn't have any part of it. I'd sent the email back, so you cut this crap. You know, your intimidation BS toward me. Because if you keep it up, I'm going to go after you for, you know, harassment, which that's what they're doing. They have no leg to stand on. I'm not grabbing somebody's picture and posting it on my thing. I don't do that. If you know me, I'm not a copier. And to be accused of it, just because you feel insecure about somebody mentioning your really bad technique, you know, all right, you know, how about this? Don't mention it. All right, well, how about this? Listen to what I'm talking about and try to correct it, check the record. You know, just say, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best way of doing things. You know, we don't want to make a catchphrase so we could sell T-shirts. You know, or, you know, coin in on a phrase that's going to grab attention. And that's that part of the modern day YouTubers. I'm talking about the past 5 years, the last 5 years. That they just get on YouTube to influence, and it doesn't matter. They're only chasing a dollar at that point. And, you know, they got the studio people. It's a shame. I remember when, what was that, Vicky, the one on Home Shopping Network. I forget her name. Vicky Payne? Yeah, Vicky Payne. And she came up with all the tools and this and that. Well, I used to watch that years ago. I mean, you're going in the 80s, right? Watching, and I was cringeworthy watching her. It's like, you know what? But she kind of held the line. She was like, she didn't go into like the real deep zone of BS. You know, she just like showed how hobbyists do it and just explained it in a hobbyist sense. She never really drew attention to, you know, bad technique or wrong, just blatantly wrong. It was all, you could tell, unprofessional, but she had a show. She was just doing, you know, her thing. And I did, you know, I was very critical of some of the things she said, but it was like, you know what? She's teaching hobbyists, and it's, you know, it's okay in a hobbyist perspective. But where I have, you know, what grinds my gears, and you have professionals, you know, try to pass off themselves as being professionals. You know, to say things that hobbyists may mimic and get hurt. And that's the part that really gets me upset. And you could, you know, say little stories, and you know that if you're wrong, I'm gonna pull it right up and call you out on it. And that's just me. And I'm only doing it. I'm not doing it to benefit over it. I'm doing it to say, hey, don't do that. And for my listeners, people who follow my channel, you know, if you're a hobbyist, or if you're, you know, kind of advanced or whatever, be aware. I did a whole video on the bad advice, top 10 bad advice, and it wasn't just one channel or one group of people, one, you know, set of groups of you know, this one that. It was a really broad brush. I said, that's bad advice. Don't go by that. And here's why. I was given example and explanation why. I don't just say, you know, do it this way and, you know, that's it. I don't do that. It's like that whole Silbersnitz with the screwed down thing. I was like, it didn't make sense, because it's like you're pushing a cutter, you're going to break your glass when you come off it. I said, hey, flip that cutter over. Oh, no. The screw has to face down. But can't you cut? No. It has to face down. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. So I went and got one of those cutters. I said, all right, I'm going to try it with the screw up. Because I know if you come off the glass with the screw up, you're not going to break or chip the end of your glass. And sure enough, it worked fine. So I was like, wow, you could come out with a statement like that. It screws facing down because it has to face down. Okay. Well, I think it'd be better with, no, it has to face down. And I was mimicked over that. Mimicked over, the grousing pliers, using the curb side up, which is how they're supposed to be used. And I explained 10 times till tomorrow why. But they say, no, it has to be down, and they don't explain. So that's what gets me upset. So, but that's like trivial stuff. The dangerous stuff, or the stuff that's going to really hurt your progress, I'm gonna beat on that hard. So if I see you do dangerous stuff, not just one person or a group of people, I'm talking about the whole YouTube world. And I'm not going to call you out by your name. I mean, I've seen stuff, but some professionals, so-called professionals, they make these outlandish claims. I'm like, you can't say that because it's wrong. And you just say it. One was, a good one was, they mentioned 50-50 solder for doing leaded work. And they say, use 60-40 solder. Don't skimp on the price of solder. I'm like, no, lead, you should use 50-50, and this is why. These are the 10 reasons why. If they say, no, don't use 50-50 because you want to save a few dollars. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's not the matter about saving a few dollars. It's a matter of what you're supposed to use. And, yeah, you can use 60-40, but I'm going to tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't, why you should use 50-50. And that was from a so-called professional, which I was like, wow, this guy's saying, all right, well, don't use 50-50, use 60-40. And I'm like, all right, well, you're wrong, and here's why. And I, that was another one. And there's a few more. But, yeah, the reason why I'm bringing this up now, this back and forth, I don't say this person, Joe Smith said this, and Joe Smith is wrong. That would be going against the code of ethics of YouTube. I would never say that. I would never say that this team were wrong and call them out by name. I would never do that. I would, if they had something they did or said that was wrong, I would clearly mention it because it would, if you were in the middle, someone watching different videos and people, they say, well, this one said that. I say, yeah. And then I say something else. Well, put 2 and 2 together. It's 2 and 2. Figure it out. But I didn't mean it to besmirch anybody other than just pointing out that what they did and said was incorrect, dangerous, or wrong. And here's some advice. Don't say it like that. Don't, and the worst thing to do is you pick on somebody who really does have, in this case, superior skills doing the stained glass. You just don't. It's like, you go ahead. So, like a race car driver say, hey, you should drive like that because you're not cutting it. Come on. Anyway, that's my year-end, it's my, what's it, all in Zion, it's a new year. And I know these folks listen to me, say, you know what, do yourself a favor. Worry about what you're doing. Do the right thing. Say the right thing. Keep interest in what you're doing. And don't attack other people. You don't succeed by attacking other people. And I'm not attacking anybody. I'm more or less shedding light on something that's wrong. And if it's you doing something wrong, well, you really should think about not doing it wrong or saying it wrong. Maybe just kind of wean away. And I have noticed there's a lot less of that, just saying that's on a T-shirt mentioned in their videos. And that's not coincidence. And you're getting the message that, yeah, I'm pretty much right about that. You don't do that when you cut glass. So it might be best if you just eased off that. And I explain why you shouldn't do that. And maybe they're getting it. Well, good for them. And the bottom line is it's the hobbyists. It's, people are picking up this craft for the first time. And they're vulnerable. They're vulnerable for picking up bad advice. It's really, that's the bottom line. And, if it involves someone getting hurt, that just makes it that much worse. And, you don't play with glass. You cut it, you use the relief cuts. You'll never see me trying to do something crazy unless I'm doing it for that purpose. And yeah, this is crazy, and I do it. It's like cutting the big V out of the glass, and I mean, you can cut like I showed you, with the relief cut, using a relief cut. But I'm not going to do anything crazy that's going to sacrifice the end results. And honestly, anything with a deep V like that is impractical because it's going to weaken your project. But if you want to do silly glass tricks, I got a few of my own. I just show them. But and I say, I go, this is a silly glass trick. Don't tap. This is a silly glass trick. And I'm not gonna, try to wow anybody. It's like, you can do this. I guess people do get wowed, but it's like, if you understand where my background came from, we've done a lot bigger and sillier glass tricks. A lot. Some I won't even repeat because they're just downright dangerous. I mean, and there's one guy I look. He's from England. He's really good at doing lead work with a flaming iron, and his little thing he does. He takes glass and even big sheets of glass and spins them like tops on the tips of his fingers. I'm like, wow, that's an old trick. If you got calluses on your fingers from working with lead and glass, you could do that. I'm just wondering if he ground down the tip before he did it. Because, yeah, it could cut you. But that's what he does. He picks up the glass and gives it a spin. I watched that. I go, that's pretty cool, but I hope no one tries to mimic that, It's kind of like his signature. But he does nice work. And he push cuts, and he does an English technique. Everything's over a template. He does patterns sometimes, when he has to cut opalescent glass. He will make a pattern, but most of the time it's done the English method on a light box, or without a light. But you just do it right on top of your cartoon. Oh, that's another term. It's stained glass drawings. You see, line drawings. The old timers will tell you it's a cartoon. We called them cartoons back in the day. So it's a stained glass drawing. Yeah, it is, but it's a cartoon. Because a lot of times it involved the different size LEDs and the painting aspects of the window. So it really was a cartoon. And, we always referred to him as cartoons. So, yeah, he's really good at what he does. He's from Europe. There's another one, Mr. Hunt. He's a glass painter from England. And there's a few more. I mean, and, the few that I really respect greatly, they're very few, but they are out there. I wish more professionals would, pick up a camera and start doing, videotaping. I knew this guy on Long Island that could freehand lettering, for church windows, like a calligrapher with a number 2 paint, oxhair brush or horse head, whatever he was using, and he could paint without any cartoon and just freehand this stuff. I was like, wow, And he was a stained glass company in Nassau County on the South Shore, and I went there for one reason or another. I forgot why, but he's really accomplished glass painter, and what he could do freehand was just simply amazing. And I wish that he would pick up a camera and show it. He would just, like I said earlier, it's just these folks that are doing glass and earning a living and keeping the heritage. YouTube is just kind of like a distraction to them. But I wish they would document more of what they did. I mean, just for that. And that's, I'm not a stained glass know-it-all guy. There's a lot I don't know. But I do know a lot. And I could share a lot of things I know with other people and demonstrate what I'm talking about. And that's where it should be. And it's a year's end, right? Everybody, let's reflect on the past. Don't be sending me cease and desist letters for something I'm doing as fair use. Think about it. You go talk to a lawyer. It's fair use. I'm not stealing your intellectual property, and you can't shut me down with a fake cease and desist letter, threaten me with lawsuits. Those kind of things hurt people. It really does, especially after I was generous and offered up a pattern for a project they were doing. I wasn't looking for anything other than just trying to be supportive of what they're doing. And to show that, I'm not an evil ogre, as she portrayed me in an AI image. One of the people. I'm getting too close to their identity. But, I was attacked many times. And, a lot of it I just laughed at. I said, it's silly. But, once you start threatening, sending letters, I didn't get a certified letter in the mail, so it doesn't work. You passed your thing, but you know what? You pulled a video down of mine off of YouTube. That was a shot in the arm. I didn't care. I'd make another video, which I did. I made a very similar video, and I just put it back, so you're not going to shut me down. Even YouTube said, no, he didn't break copyright. And anyway, here's my message to other people. Don't try to succeed at the expense of others. Exceed on your own merit. Give what you can to the community, the stained glass community. And if something's questioned, really take a long, hard look at it. And don't try to make up stuff. Avoid the temptation, to score another 100 members or, whatever, this and that. You can have 100,000 subscribers if you're pointing out bad information. That's kind of disingenuous. So just and your true intention of what you're doing is not geared in helping others. It's just geared in getting a bigger paycheck from YouTube. Really, just kind of put it in perspective. Because inevitably, at the end of the day, you keep doing that bad content or attacking others, directly and indirectly, truly attacking others, you're going to be the one that gets, the short end of the stick. And on that note, I just wanted to say my year-end closing, folks are not going to be around much. They're going to be on holidays and vacation, traveling. And it's my message, for the ending of 2025. If we could all look forward to the next year with a little more grace, right? And, common sense. And on that, I'd like to wish everybody a happy and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year. You take care.